Welcome back to the show. We're so glad to have you guys here. It is Monday, March 11th. I know a lot of people are so happy because it's the new start of the week, right? Yeah, right. Like, I'm not. I woke up this morning and I'm like, it's Monday. And that 1 hour change has my whole life kind of confusing, right? Like, I woke up, I'm like, it's only 1 hour. Why does it feel like they push the clocks forward 10 hours? Like, I feel like I got punched in the face. That's okay, because we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of information, a lot of news. And right off the bat, we have a breaking topic and conversation. Russell Wilson to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I've been saying this now for months. And people are like, that won't happen. That won't happen. And then I even put it up in shorts. I put it up in reels. I put it up on all social media platforms. Not because I know everything, but because the Steelers basically need a quarterback. Kenny Pickett wasn't the guy last year. And injuries and backup quarterbacks and quarterback drama, yada, yada, yada. Russell Wilson is a guy that can step in and get it done now. Now, some people say he's washed up. He won't be there long. He signed a 1-year deal. And quite frankly, when I talk about Russell Wilson, I talk about the situation. Howard, you pull it up. I hit the breaking graphic here for us. It didn't pop up, but I know. Here we go. So check this out. So, this is interesting. He signs a 1-year deal, and the Broncos are eating, I believe it's like $30-some million or something out of control. And if I pull the picture up that I have on my actual phone here, $38 million to be paid by the Broncos and only 1.2 by the Steelers. Take that picture down for me, Howard. And here's the thing. When I take a look at the whole situation, take a look at Russell Wilson, when I take a look at his career, great with the Seattle Seahawks. And I say great because he was someone you didn't want to go to Seattle to play against, right? Now, he wasn't winning all kinds of Super Bowls, but the guy was good. He was gifted. Then he gets to the Broncos, and people are like, what's going on? What's going on with Russ? Why isn't it working? And then they bench him, and now he's with the Steelers. People are like, oh, that's not going to happen. And every time I said it, it's impossible. He's washed up. They're not going to take him. Some people said Justin Fields. And what I said was, when I get to later in the show today, when I talk about the difference of drafting a quarterback versus drafting a skilled position running back or receiver, I'll get to that later in the show. It's important to know what you're getting. And sometimes it's smarter for organizations like the Pittsburgh Steelers to reach out and go, look, I know this guy. I see what he's done in the National Football League. Let's bring him in. Let's help rebrand our team a little bit. Let's help him teach some of the younger guys, right, on their second or third year. Guys like Kenny Pickett can probably learn greatly from Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson plays great this year, Kenny Pickett might be done. I'm saying that right now. If Russell Wilson plays great for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett will be done. He'll be a backup quarterback. I don't see him playing anywhere else. That's the God's honest truth. If Russell goes in and he shits the bed, Kenny Pickett will get his chance, and he'll have a chance to shine. Let's move on right now to the main topic and main event that we have outside of the breaking news. We have Mac Jones gets traded to the Jaguars. People are like, wow, somebody had to leave, him or like Zapp, right? Zappy's over there and he's playing for the Patriots, and they didn't really know what was going on either. Like, their team was kind of in shambles too. Like, the quarterback drama from hell, just like the Broncos. Like, what are we going to do? They have multiple quarterbacks with the Patriots that needed to do something or go somewhere ever since Tom Brady left. They never found their rhythm or routine. But now that Mac Jones is heading over to the Jaguars, what's that look like as a backup quarterback, right? I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? To head over there to the Jaguars, be a backup quarterback. You were drafted. You're supposed to be the guy out in Boston, New England, a big-time sports city. You watched, Tom Brady for years and years and years. And now you're the backup quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars. And so what I'm thinking realistically here is just he's going to ultimately be a backup quarterback for a long time unless someone looks out to pick him up and, to work with him longer term. If they re-sign Trevor Lawrence to an extended contract, then Mac Jones will slowly leave and walk out of the NFL or be a long-time backup because he just won't get his chance. And good morning to all of you right now. If it's your first time in here, I hope all of you had a great weekend. We're getting started here. Obviously, we're on Russell Wilson. Now we're on Mac Jones. We got a lot to talk about today. Good morning, Tracy. Obviously, Howard, Candy, good morning. Brenda, Millie, new people coming in here today. Let me see. Mility, okay, 06, Seahawks have signed Patrick Queen. Okay. And sorry, I say the name wrong. What it is my eyes, and I say the F word quietly to myself. I can't see that damn good. And I look on the big screen in front of me. That's great. People commenting here, I appreciate you as you come in and BS with me if I say your name wrong. Just say, look, man, this is my goddamn name. I apologize. But all I'm saying right now is Mac Jones is looking like a backup. He's going to look like a Kenny Pickett, realistically. Come in, did great in college. Remember, Mac Jones went to Alabama, was a good quarterback behind all those other guys that left, right? Like you had Tua, you had Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones. They just keep on producing quarterbacks, right? Nonstop. And obviously the Carolina Panthers got one too. Got a guy from Alabama. And it's like, okay, which one of you guys is going to emerge? And this past year kind of had a slope, a little block in the road, if you want to call it. Eagles started out great, kind of went down the tubes. They're coming back this year. A lot of changes, transitions for them. Think that they'll bounce back, but they got a lot to work on. But Mac Jones, man, now being traded, looks like this could be the end of his quote-unquote starting career, if you ask me. But let's move on now to the next topic. Baker Mayfield inks $100 million, okay, with the Bucs. Now, I've said this last week too. I said, look, they got to do something. Who's going to sign Baker Mayfield? I didn't see $100 million. I mean, everyone said, $40 million a year, yada, yada, yada. And it's true. He's getting that plus incentives. It's actually up to $115 million if you understand they get playoff bonuses. They get touchdown bonuses. They get completion bonuses. There's all kinds of opportunities for these quarterbacks to make a lot of money. And Baker Mayfield inks $100 million. And I believe like 50 or 60 million is guaranteed, which is where the big money is, the guaranteed money, the money you can put in your bank account and know it's going there 100%. It's going there now. 3 years, the Bucs, Baker Mayfield ink a deal, and now he gets to join forces with Mike Evans, who signed a massive deal. So they're coming back, and what's cool about this, I'll tell you this right now, watching Baker Mayfield, he was the first pick in the draft. You're talking a guy that came to the NFL, and they were like, oh, he's a bust. I mean, literally, he was like a bust. He came in the NFL. He wasn't really doing much. I mean, he played decent. I'm not saying that he was terrible. And then he shows up on several teams. He's the Panthers, got the Browns, and now he is in the NFL with the Bucs. And people are like, well, he played good this season, his best season yet, but maybe we won't bring him back, for that kind of money. It's kind of crazy. And all of a sudden, agents start talking. The media starts talking. He had a great season. You compare his season to other quarterbacks. Agent says, look, who's playing better than him? You look around, bam, $100 million. Mike Evans advocated for him, and I said that. If your receiver comes back and says, I want to play with my quarterback, now there's a lot of drama until you get the quarterback that these receivers want. And it's cool because they got the camaraderie, the camaraderie is already built. They got the way they run the routes, the timing, everything that's going on in the huddle. Baker Mayfield's the guy in Tampa, and here's the thing. Tom Brady was the guy. After leaving the Patriots, gets there, he's the guy. The Bucs were pumped, a lot of morale. Tom Brady retires, and they said, we're going to rebuild. And this coach, people seem to like. And Baker Mayfield said, this is where I want to stay. This is where I want to ball. Congrats to Baker Mayfield. I don't know if he's worth over $100 million, but here's the thing. This big-time money now coming to the stage, unlike last year when I think he had like $4 million or something much smaller. It was like, you're getting $4 million for that XYZ time. $100 million changes his career, changes his future, changes the outlook on how people start to view you, right? Like you're getting $100 million, it's time to put up. Like we're not playing any games. When you show up, we're winning games. I got to tell you, even though I didn't think Baker Mayfield is the guy to get that kind of money, I'm looking forward to watching him play. I think that a lot of people are looking forward to watching him play, but I got to tell you, something even more interesting than this, the Kansas City Chiefs obviously are looking to win back to back to back. Like they want to be the first team to win Super Bowls back to back to back, right? And so what they do, they said, hey, we got to bring Chris Jones back. In NFL history, they've never had someone sign a contract like this from the defensive line perspective. And here he goes. What is it? I look on the screen here, 5 years, $160 million. This is big time payday. The Kansas City Chiefs are coming back. They are not playing games. They're like, you know what? We're going to be the first team to do this in NFL history. We're going to come back. We're going to win another Super Bowl. We're going to show the people that we can do it. Patrick Mahomes barely had a receiver last year. I'm not knocking all the receivers they had on the team. They didn't have a superstar. They didn't have someone that was out there going crazy, you know, running around, acrobatic, you know, whatever, jumping up, grabbing balls. But listen, I got to tell you, Patrick Mahomes is that guy to will to win. And if they got back, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, in a long-term contract, then you got Travis Kelce. He comes back again, and then you got, obviously, Andy Reid. That combination of those three people right there, Pacheco in the backfield. They did go out and get Chris Jones. They extended the money 5 years. Look at this. This isn't a short-term thing. They're out here to win for a long time. If those players all come back and Andy Reid says, I'm going to be your head coach, there's no reason why the Chiefs can't win again. They literally won the Super Bowl this past year. And I said this, they had no identity through half the season, well, more than half the season, until they got almost to the playoffs. And then Kelce stepped up. Obviously, the whole Taylor Swift in the house, media eruption of things was going on, and people said, well, it was fixed and yada, yada, yada. What I'm saying is this. I don't think that it's fixed. I don't think that the NFL's fixed at all. I just know that, you know, sometimes morale and, you know, all your camaraderie and people working together, when you got a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, you got a tight end like Travis Kelce, you got a coach like Andy Reid. I mean, these are people that are going to go down in history. These guys are Hall of Famers. These are people that are the best in the National Football League. So you really can't look at it and go, I don't see why. I see why, because they have all the best talent. And then Chris Jones signs $160 million. He's leading that defensive line. They're bringing what they need. All they got to do, mark my word, get a receiver. And I said this last year, and I said this at the end of the season after the Super Bowl, because they're like, we're going to come back and win it again. It'll be the first time in NFL history to win 3 in a row. And all I'm saying is, if the Kansas City Chiefs get another receiver, a big-time guy, they're going back to the ship, right? They're going back to the Super Bowl. Who's going to stop them? You look around the National Football League, not many people can stop them on a good day. And the Kansas City Chiefs have a lot of good days, that's for sure. So moving on now to, okay, listen, if you're watching this right now, good morning to all of you. Let me read this again. Okay. T. Higgins requested a trade. I did see that. Thank you for bringing it to the attention. I did see that. And good morning alert there. I see that. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. And that is true. A lot of receivers that are requesting trades. It's like, look, what are the Chiefs going to do? Who are they going to pick up, right? A lot of people are talking about this too. But on the screen right now, what I want to talk about to you is drafting a quarterback, you know, versus skill positions, right? The draft is coming up. You're watching this right now for the first time. The NFL draft is coming up. We're gonna watch that. We value that. The Bears are first. This is kind of what the list looks like, right? Team after team after team, lined up at their current picks. Obviously, there's gonna be trades, people moving around. You know, you might trade for number 1 or trade up for number 2, or a lot of teams are going to make some deals happen. It won't look like this exactly come draft day. But this is what I'm saying right now. Okay, I'm going to say something to you. When you're drafting a quarterback versus drafting skill positions, this is what I actually think. It's really hard to find a quarterback. I know that. You find your guy in the draft. That's great. A big-time guy, or you can get a big-time bust, right? That's the God's honest truth right now. You got guys that are going first pick, second pick, first round, and they're just not panning out. You got your Mac Jones of the world, right? You got your Kenny Pickett's of the world. You got all these people. Sometimes they just don't work out. So what I'm saying is, if I pull this picture up here, Caleb Williams is supposed to be the first pick in the draft, right? And yeah, he's great. He's talented. The Bears are really high on him. A lot of people would love to have him on the football team in National Football League. And Justin Fields is out there with the Bears. We covered that. And it's like, will Caleb Williams go to the Bears, right? And here's what I got to say. It's a good deal. If you pick up Caleb Williams in the draft, awesome, great for you. You don't know how he's going to pan out in the National Football League. Like, you just don't know. Like, he's got a lot to do. He's got to run the whole offense. He's got to check on a lot of different things. He's got to be in all the meetings. He's got to be a leader. He's got to be a great person. Like, all these things have to work out to be a good-time quarterback for the contract that they get. Like, if you get a Tom Brady in the 6th round or a Brock Purdy in the 7th round, dude, good for you. Like, you're paying bullshit numbers and you're getting a great quarterback. But when you draft a guy like this, okay, and you bring him and pay him all this money, he could be a bust. Like, he literally could be a bust. So here's what I want to pull up. You can grab a guy like this in the 1st round and guarantee athleticism, right? Like, you can literally guarantee you get a player that's going to be fast, a guy that's strong, a guy that can break, you know, he can catch screen passes, or he can run the ball off tackle. There's some guys that are bigger than I'm in between the tackles. But all I'm saying is, I'm starting to think in my mind, right? I'm really starting to think in my mind that drafting a quarterback is smart, but maybe not in the 1st round. I hate to say that because there's a lot of good talents this year. Caleb Williams, right? You got Penix, you got J.J. McCarthy, you got Drake May. I mean, you can go on and on and on. There's all kinds of players, and I'm not saying that you can't get a good quarterback. I'm not saying that they shouldn't get a quarterback. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the realistic measures of what you get, right? Like, you can literally later down the road say, okay, I know the quarterbacks that are gifted now. I need a quarterback that can step in and build around that. People like Kirk Cousins, right? Who now is saying he's not going to be playing with the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to test out his free agency. So if he leaves and goes to another team, you can draft all these talented skill positions. Like, you literally can get a Marvin Harrison Jr. You can get guys like CeeDee Lamb to step in, and you can just go out and get a guy like this who could run your offense. And I'm not saying Russell Wilson's the best quote unquote guy, but I mean, it might be smarter to grab a guy for a couple $1 million than going out and grabbing Caleb Williams and spending XYZ money on a guy that might come in and be a bust. I mean, this is the God's honest truth right now. I'm just saying, when I look at how I'm drafting right now, I love drafting a quarterback. My guy, my franchise player, my guy, 5 years, 10 years, long term. Injuries happen, right? So the Steelers are getting Russell Wilson for $1 million a year. Like $1 million. Maybe some people think he's not worth anything, but at the end of the day, he steps in. He's got great running backs. He's got great receivers. He's got a good offensive line. He's got a good defense. You're bringing Russell Wilson for league minimum or veteran minimum, you got a good chance to go somewhere. Caleb Williams comes in. There's a lot of learning. Big time learning curve. Big time changes. The speed of the game. College is fast, but not like the NFL. Every player is gifted. Every defensive player's got speed. Every defensive player is the best defensive player you faced at USC. So all I'm saying is, I'd be careful drafted in the first round, giving a bunch of money. I know what people want to have their long-term guy. I understand that. But a lot of times, the guys that get their second extended contract become great. Guy like Trevor Lawrence. He might show up and go somewhere and be a beast, right? I mean, all these players, Bryce Young, he might get a contract somewhere else and be a beast. Like, all these guys end up. Geno Smith, traded, bang, beast. I think sometimes it's good to get a guy later on. Just saying. Now, listen to this. 6 players ejected from the South Carolina LSU game. If you didn't see it yet, I'll give it to you now. Got a little personal, and bang. Okay, if you don't know Flaw J here, she is big time in the media and also music industry as well. But they went a little berserk, right? And during the NCAA, you got tournaments and the brackets and all that. It's getting heated, right? These girls aren't your typical girls. I mean, these are, you can see here what's going on. Like, these girls here have a lot of emotion, and they're not small by any stretch, right? Like, Fludge is getting launched around by, literally some of these girls are, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". These girls are big. And they're not out there playing games. Like, they're legit out there bullying people. And you can see here, it's getting heated. It's getting hot. During the NCAA tournament, as you can see here, it's going to get a little rowdy. Now, 6 players were ejected from the game. And look, rightfully so. When it gets a little aggressive like that, I'm not saying that you should be out there and walking around like pansy, but you can't get that crazy knocking people off on the court and push them. But I'm just saying, look, it's time to ball, right? And when it gets to the men's, these women sometimes are more aggressive than men is all I'm saying. It's time to ball. Like, you get to the NCAA tournament. I talked about this last week. You got all the people there, and you get to your Sweet 16, your Elite 8, your Final 4, your championship games. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get wild. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see all the emotions flying, all the flares flying. Bam. And she made a public announcement saying, look, I apologize for what I've done. If I did it to the sport, I made us look a certain kind of way. If I made our team look bad, if you took it the wrong way, it's like, yeah, I'm taking it the wrong way. Like, you just launched me, boom. Like, you launched me into another piece of the court. So all I'm saying is, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get wild. And if you're watching college basketball, you better tune in for the tournaments, because they're going to be great and exciting to watch. But let's move on right now to the show. Quote of the day I have for you is right here. I think hate losing. Let me read this again. Let me slow down and say this a little better for you. I think I hate losing more than I love to win. Right? Let that sink in for a second. I think I hate losing more than I love to win. Right? And all I'm saying is, look, I like that quote. I hate to lose. I want to win. I love to win. I need to win, right? But the thing is, I hate to lose. When I'm going crazy and I'm going hard and I'm training hard and I'm getting up in the morning and I'm doing what I got to do. I'm researching, I'm reading books, I'm going out learning from people. I got mentors, I got everything lined up. I'm trying to be healthy and I'm looking around, circling people around me that are great people. Like, I want to win and I don't want to lose, especially when I put all my effort and all my opportunities, especially all your eggs in one basket, right? Like, I'm going for something here. This is my, my motivation, my inspiration, what I love to do. It's like, look, and I'll read it again for you. And Jalen Hurts said this: I think I hate losing more than I love to win. And all he's saying right now is, look, I want to win bad, but I hate losing even more. And that just makes me want to win more. It fuels my daily opportunity, it fuels my daily energy to get where I got to get. And guys, I just want to tell you something. I appreciate all of you that are joining here every day. And we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep building. But we have a guest come on the show tomorrow, I believe, an MMA fighter, a bare knuckle fighter. We have a UFC fighter coming on this week, and we got a few other guests as well. So it's going to get entertaining. It's going to grow. You're going to love who you see coming on. We also have Serena Williams and Venus Williams, tennis coach, is coming on to give us some inspiration and some opportunities, what he did to fuel and energize his people and his players. So you're going to have a lot of guests on here. It will be the sports and entertainment platform. So I do appreciate all of you enjoying the show every morning and rocking with me every day at 10 o'clock. It's been a pleasure to jump on this morning. It's Monday. Please go out there today and enjoy your day. Get out there where you're going. Don't rush. Slow down. Enjoy the day with your friends and family. And obviously, drive safe. We had this last week. We were saying, look, where you're going to get is where you're going to get. If you're late, you're late. Get up earlier tomorrow. Don't rush yourself and cause more issues for yourself. Enjoy your Monday, and I will see you tomorrow, bright and early Tuesday. I will have a guest, a fighter on the show, and I will be traveling. So if you see things change in the studio, you see things look a bit different, I will be flying to New York, I believe, this week. So we'll see how that transpires and changes, but I will talk to you guys tomorrow, bright and early at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, and hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you soon.